Should we start the episode?
Sure.
I think we should start the episode.
We could just start. Yeah, we
let's
could
just
go
start
right
the
into it.
episode. Punch.
Wow, I thought you were going for like a fist bump, but you were more
here,
going for
I'll
like
fist
a.
bump you.
Thank you.
I cheek bumped you.
You yeah.
That's
it. Let's go. Spell separation here. No, it's my
That was
armrest
your elbow.
pillow. It's my armrest
That was
pillow.
my armrest.
No, it's mine. Oh god, no, it's on my lap. Well, I guess it's no one's armrest pillow. See, this is what happens when two people fight.
I'm gonna build a wall.
Oh, god. Wow, Robbie.
You have to pay for it.
I'm not paying for anything. No.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. As always, I'm Robbie. This is Kyle. Kyle, how are you, buddy?
I'm great. I have a sticker.
You do,
Yes.
and it's sports related. You guys can't really see it from this angle, but it's a pink softball glove.
See right here? There it is. See, I thought it was a seashell at first, but no, this definitely is a glove, isn't it?
Yeah,
There you go.
she sells seashells by the seashore. Yeah, but we're back, Kyle. We are back.
We're
It's
back.
been a while, but we're back. Hope everybody's doing well out there. We certainly are. Just life gets busy sometimes. Life gets in the way, and
Yeah.
you know what? We've been around, but we finally decided to sit down tonight and actually make an episode. And actually, what we're gonna do tonight is kind of catch you up on some of the things we've been doing the last few weeks and sort of recap the month that was in between our last recording. But before we do that, we do want to send a special shout out, as always, to Zyman Organizing and Wes Woodson, our two sponsors for tonight's
Thank you.
episode. Thank you, as always,
Thank you, guys.
for continuing your support of us into 2025 here, and links will be in the description. So this is going to be kind of a three-pronged episode, a sort of three-segment show, if you want to call it that, because what we want to do is we want to recap three different events from the last few weeks, two of which Kyle and I had the pleasure of attending ourselves in person, and one that we watched on TV. So to start out with, we're going to go in kind of chronological order here, because a few weeks back, Kyle and I attended a BC men's hockey game, which it was the first time attending one of those for the two of us together, I should say, attending one of those this season. We had gone last year as well. We've actually been to a few over the last couple of years, and it was a lot of fun. Again, BC versus Harvard. BC won the game, which was great. We're always happy when BC hockey wins. And Kyle, sort of let's start right there. Your thoughts on the BC Harvard game?
It was fun. I loved it. I always love a good hockey game. You know me.
Yeah.
But like, I just love going to the games live and just kind of seeing it all there. And no, it was a lot of fun. Like I had a great time at that game. I always love going to that rink too. Like it's such a nice rink. And there's something about college hockey. Like I probably mentioned this time and time again, but I love just the whole atmosphere of it. And I love hearing the pep band, like going back and forth, like doing all these like big marching band renditions of famous songs. Like, I love it. It's great.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's nothing like college hockey, especially at BC, just that, like you said, the Connie Forum, which is where BC plays their home games, is just such a cool place to watch a hockey game. You're kind of like right on top of the
Yeah.
action, and it's just a great environment. And, we've always enjoyed going to games there throughout the years, and it was very cool to continue that tradition of going to games here in 2025. So, BC won, like I said, which was very exciting. BC men's hockey, number one in the country currently, although unfortunately last night, a game that I was actually at myself, They lost in the Beanpot Finals last night to BU, which was kind of a bummer, but still, top ranked team in the country, and just was always very impressive to watch, Kyle.
Yeah, no, I loved it. It was no, just a really really good game. It was one of those games that like from what I remember it was pretty close for a little bit, but then once you kind of get to the or wait, I feel like I'm. Well, anyways, no, it was just a really good game. So that's all I'm gonna say.
No, you're right. It was close. I think it was like 2-1 or like 2-2, 3-2 or something.
Okay,
like
it was. Yeah,
and then,
I may
and
have been
then, and then BC scored a goal later on to sort of distance out the lead there. But no, I mean it was like I said, a great exciting game, and always seems to be the case when BC and Harvard get together in hockey.
Both just really solid.
Yeah,
teams. Yeah, like you said, like really good.
Exactly. And speaking of hockey, that was the other game that we kind of went to in person, which was for the second year in a row. Actually, the third year in a row of going to this particular game, second year in a row that has been at TD Garden that we've been to that. The Beanpot Women's Championship game.
Oh yes, this one comes with a story too. So
for the second year, for the second year in a row, it was actually both times we've been to the Garden for it was BU and Northeastern.
Oh right,
and Northeastern once again pulled out the victory in a kind of convincing fashion a little bit.
That was awesome.
Over BU. The crowd was amazing. They actually announced that it was the largest Massachusetts women's hockey crowd ever, and like the 5th largest women's hockey crowd in NCAA history, which I thought was pretty cool. And the fact that we got to be there. I mean, usually like the last year we went, pretty much everybody sat in like if you guys know the TD Garden seating, there's like the loge area and then there's the balcony area. For the most part last year, everybody sat in the loge area. This year, like the balcony was even pretty well filled in. Like we went up inside the balcony because like that's where we could find more seats, but like sitting up there was like there were quite a bit of people up there this year, even compared to last year, which I thought was pretty wild.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy for the women's hockey team there. Like I'm glad they're getting like a bigger crowd it's just nice, like because it's always good
support
to show up for your
women's
team, right?
sports,
right? Come on,
we at On a Couch Talking Sports support women's sports.
Yes. Because it was great. Like they put on a hell of a game there, and like everyone you could tell was like they just nailed it. Like, it was just such a great, like, you could tell both teams were really working hard. Like especially the first, because from what I remember, the first half of the game, it was kind of a draw. Like no one really like scored for a while, right?
Yeah, I mean, because I think it was like.
It was for like.
It was like 1-0 or something like that for a little while, and then Northeastern kind of started pouring it on a little bit. It's kind of Northeastern's goal run kind of coincided with Kyle actually showing up to the game, and so I kind of want to get into that a little bit because Kyle was a little bit delayed getting to the game. You want to sort of tell people?
I will.
That.
Oh, don't you worry.
Go for it. Please, the floor is yours, my friend. Take it away.
Oh, man. I mean, quite literally, it's mine for now. No, it's okay. Because we were on the floor of my house, so I was just saying. No, that's a bad joke. Okay, anyways.
No, I got it, but I just...
It was just disappointed, like, oh, God, why is Kyle saying this? Oh, cringe.
I don't have any tomatoes to throw, but I can throw here there.
Okay, that's works. Works, it's bouncy.
Anyway, go ahead.
So... to start off the night, so basically, I'm excited. I'm like, yes.
By the way, I just want to preface it by saying Kyle and I went to the game like, obviously we knew we were going to meet there, but we went to the game separately. So like I came in on the train from my area, and then Kyle from his, and then we met up at the arena. I just want people to sort of understand the
right, because I know you guys probably
there.
No, since obviously like he and I were coming from separate directions, we kind of came like after we were done with work and everything. Although I think I had vacation that day, but anyways, besides the point. So basically I go there and I go to one of the Green Line stops, and and I see the train there, and I'm kind of I actually even do like a little bit of a light jog. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to the train, and then as I'm going into the train, and the train conductor was like, oh yeah, don't worry, well, you're not late. train's still here. So I was like, okay, great. So I hop on the train and I sit down and I keep hearing these announcements. Because I was wondering, I was like, it'd been like maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And I'm thinking, okay, what's going on with this train? Like usually a train kind of, doesn't take that long. Even if it's, because I actually came at one of the entrance stops. It was the Union Square stop. So that's actually one of the very first stop for kind of like the D line when you take that. And so I'm thinking like, okay, even for a starting, spot, like it doesn't take that long. So I'm like, okay, I'm waiting there for like half hour and I'm texting Robbie. And first of all, I thought the game began at 7. So I was getting a little worried. So as I was texting Robbie while I was waiting, I was like, oh god, I'm going to be really late to the game. Robbie reminds me that the game's actually not till 7:30. So yes. Okay. I'm like, all right, you know what? Nope. I got this. I'm going to keep waiting for a little bit longer, see what happens. Took me an hour. I sat there for an hour. 1 hour. Yeah, you heard me right. 1 hour on that train, and it still didn't move. You know what the excuse was? It was, we're just fixing where there was something wrong with the signals.
Wow. Wow.
Unbelievable. Like, if you guys can hear the music behind us is really, like, bring the whole point home to us. It's just like, I'm just like, so part of me's thinking, okay, it was actually past game time when I was still on the train. Because I got there at 6:30. So it was 7:30. I'm like, Robbie, I'm going to get off this train. And at first I thought, okay, I could skip the game. But
you did text me at one point, like, I'm debating whether or not I should just call it. I was like, whatever you do, I'll understand. I was like, because I could tell you were frustrated and all that. And I was frustrated for it. I was like, you know what? At this point, if you that's what you need to do, then it is what it is. Because I was there already. I'm still there at the game, so it's not like I'm not missing anything because of this.
Yeah. No, totally. Like, you were already into it, and I was thinking, okay, I'm probably just gonna. By the time I get there won't be really any game left. But luckily, I actually was able to find another stop not too far away, still in the Somerville area, and I was thinking, you know what? I think I can do this. I might miss a chunk of the game, yes, but luckily I actually ended up getting another train stop, and as soon as I got there, I actually got there at around, I would say, right at the halfway point of the game. So kind of like halfway through the second period.
Yeah.
So, and the other funny thing was, when I got to the stadium, I actually freaked out a bit because I actually didn't know how to access my ticket. I think I had to do an extra step. See, I'm still working on how to use online tickets. I'm old, guys. So I'm basically just like going through my phone and be like, I have the ticket, I bought it. But then apparently you have to transfer from like StubHub to like Ticketmaster or some crazy thing like that. And I forgot to do that. So I'm standing there after waiting all that time, and after getting there halfway into the game, I'm also thinking, oh God, what if I can't get in? What if they don't accept me? Like, what if? And then, so I'm just like, I came all this way for nothing. Like, it would have been so disappointing. But luckily, there is a good ending to this. Luckily the ticket guy did help me with that. I thought that I didn't do the whole step in time, that halfway into the game, like they would have like canceled my ticket at that point. But luckily, he fixed it, and I was able to get in. So there we go.
It all worked out. Yeah, Kyle got there, and got there literally in Tennessee Northeastern. I think he scored like 3 goals after he got there.
Got to the best part of the game. It was awesome.
And they won.
Loved it.
Yeah, they won, and they won the Beanpot title for a 3rd year in a row. So good. Big ups to the Northeastern women's hockey team. Sort of a little mini Beanpot dynasty at the moment going on.
Good.
But besides all that, just any thoughts on the game? Any more thoughts on the game, the environment, anything else in general there?
I mean, it was just a really exciting game. I loved watching the second half, and I got a really weird ice cream thing, which is, they call it like, it was like a fried chicken ice cream from one of the fried chicken spots there.
I saw that.
Right? Like, it was like kind of like an ice cream pop, but they had covered it with like, I think some kind of cereal or some kind of crunchy coating. And It was.
Okay.
I almost I thought my teeth were gonna fall out. It was so hard to bite into, but. So if you ever try it, definitely try it, but wait a few minutes till it kind of melts a bit. You're softened, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, but it was good. It was good. The rest of the experience was really great. So that at least was really good. So
shout out to the MBTA. Not.
You lose.
Actually, I got a funny story that I'm gonna tell on air. That actually I didn't even tell you this. So last night I went, you know that last night I went to the Beanpot Men's Championship game between BC
that was
and
last
BU.
night. Okay.
Because I was just talking about how BC lost it. So after the game, I go back down into North Station, which is Kyle goes for the green line. You basically go back down to the bowels of North Station to catch the green line to head back out to Riverside. And it was me and I would say no less than 100 Boston College students waiting for the train. The train shows up. I kid you not when I say I did not walk onto that train. I was physically shoved onto that train by just a mass of college students. It was like the videos you see of Black Friday shopping. Everybody trying to get in the door at opening of Black Friday sales.
Wow!
Literally, they were just shoving. Everybody was just all clumped up against each other, shoving each other towards the train. So I made the train. Literally because I got shoved onto it by a mass of college students. It was...
You had no choice in that manner, Robbie, I guess.
No, literally. No. I was I was determined to make the trade anyway, but they were just I'm just gonna go along for the ride afterwards. I'm I don't even think I walked on the train. I was literally just physically shoved onto the train.
Wow.
It was a sight you had to have been there, but it was a sight to behold. But yeah, just kind of funny.
I can kind of picture that in my head a little bit, just the way the train station's set up.
Honestly,
okay, Robbie,
and honestly, what you're picturing, it probably was 10 times both funnier and worse than you're picturing. But still, it's still a good time. Anyway,
that's funny.
So I did want to move on to sort of the third segment of sort of our recap in the life of sports, because this is sort of the biggest one in my opinion, because obviously unless you've been living under a rock, if you do, welcome back. Super Bowl Sunday was this past Sunday, and the Philadelphia Eagles brought home the Lombardi Trophy, which I was actually very happy about because I did not want to see the Chiefs win it for a third year in a row.
You know what? Me either. No. Screw you, Chiefs.
And the Eagles,
nope.
The Eagles took. Not only did they win it, but they won in convincing fashion. It was not even a game. For the most part, the Eagles from the start, got ahead and soared ahead. No pun intended.
Hey.
Yeah. But yeah, as the computer screen goes dark.
Oh, sorry, yeah. You guys can't really see it, but
yeah, I know. Everybody's
every 20 minutes.
What are you guys talking about? But yeah,
it'll just go in screensaver mode, but the video will still go on.
Yeah,
it's weird. Anyways.
Of course, yeah. We're in the abyss.
Yeah.
But Kyle, I wanted to ask you first of all, before we get into because obviously a lot of the Super Bowl is the entertainment related stuff, which I definitely want to get into. But I just wanted to get your take sort of just on the game itself. Like I said, I hate to say it was a boring Super Bowl. I mean, just the fact that it was kind of so one-sided, kind of became just kind of dull at certain points, at least to me. And but I wanted to get your sort of take on it.
So here's the funny thing. So I'm watching the game with our buddy Jerome, who you guys may remember.
Yeah,
he was on
a few episodes.
Yeah, especially the mini golf episode. That was a great episode.
Yeah.
And also, that's right, a couple of the webisodes that we had, with whatever the Skype not Skype, Zoom episodes. There we go.
And he also was on one in the back of your car at one point. We were
That's
all
right.
masked in the back of your car.
Right. He just popped in. He was the halfway guest kind of thing.
Cameo, surprise cameo. Yeah.
That was funny. Yeah, actually. So Jerome and I were watching the game. Because we were kind of between watching shows, movies, and stuff, and we're all right, let's see how the game's doing. So we got to kind of the very end of the second half, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel that end of the second half, we kind of watched. I want to say the last maybe 4 minutes of that quarter, and to me, I couldn't think of a more defining like 4 minutes of a game that I've ever seen in my life. Like it just, I feel like that those 4 minutes basically just set the whole tone of it.
Yeah.
You know, like I could see like Patrick Mahomes, like, and he's a great quarterback in his own right, but I don't know what happened in this game. Like, you know, it just didn't seem like the Chiefs were there.
Did you see the interception for a touchdown?
I think I did.
Yeah,
I was kind of in and out of it, but I think that was towards the end
of the first half. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think I did actually. Yeah. It was just like, oh, because I was like, wait, how they get a touchdown so fast? And I realized, oh, that was. Sorry, Chiefs. Oh, and I could even see Patrick Mahomes, like they even closed up on his face a few times, and I was like, oh yeah, that's.
Yeah, he was not happy. Yeah, the Eagles just played. Yeah. So dang well, like especially defensively. I think they sacked Patrick Mahomes 6 times in the game. They forced him to fumble one time. They obviously had a couple. I think they had 2 interceptions. Like they just dominated that game from like start to finish. I was loving every minute of it. Like I said, I did not want the Chiefs to win. In fact, I begged and pleaded for the Chiefs not to win. But yeah, it was just so awesome. See, and also, I felt good for the Eagles. You know, the fact that they avenged their Super Bowl loss to the Chiefs from a couple of years ago. They kind of had a heartbreaking loss to the Chiefs 2 Super Bowls ago, and so, like, it was just nice of them to get the job done, but in convincing fashion as well. But obviously, you know, when you think about the Super Bowl, obviously, especially when your team's not in it, a lot of the fun of it is like the entertainment value, like the commercials and it's the halftime
glitz and glamour around
show. Exactly. And so I guess, Kyle, I was wanting to do sort of 2-parter here. So part one, just were there any? I don't know how many of the commercials you saw per se this year, but like were there any that like stood out in particular to you, or just what was your vibe from what you saw of the commercials in general?
I mean, the commercials were. I feel like every year they get kind of like they're definitely shifting. Like, cause
they really weren't. There weren't a lot of noteworthy ones this year. I felt like it was just kind of like eh. Although I will say I don't.
Kind of dropped a lot of the humor. I feel like for most of them. Like,
well, I don't mean to sort of jump in on you here, but I did want to point out really one quickly. Dunkin' Donuts did do another variation of the Dunk Kings commercial like they did last year.
Oh, yeah.
And this one had Bill Belichick in it as the newest member of the Dunk Kings, which I thought was pretty clever. But
yeah. Like you're right. Like every once in a while, you'd see like, oh, that was pretty funny. I like that. You know,
yeah.
just like kind of an enjoyable one.
That one kind of stood out to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was one of those. It was a little bit like last year too, but I would say even more so this year. That there was every once in a while you'd see like kind of a funny, oh, that was a good one, but then a lot of them were just like, and I think we were talking to our buddy Jerome about this too, and like how he made a good point, like how a lot of it was just like they just throw in celebrities, and it's like, okay, is that the joke? Is that the whole like why?
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like it just, I don't know. Like a lot of them kind of fell flat. There were a couple that I enjoyed. I just can't remember. I guess they were just forgettable. Even
that's all right.
Even the ones I saw, but and you know they did like movie teasers and stuff like that, but they weren't really that special. It was to like the Marvel Thunderbolts movie or whatever. Like, okay. It was the 5,000th teaser to freaking Captain America. Like, how many that movie I think might go beyond the world record. I'm not even joking, guys. That movie is gonna win the Guinness World Record of most random teasers like attached to it. Because every time I go on YouTube or I just watch TV, there's always a different random like 30-second teaser for that movie for Captain America. I'm just like, okay, we get it. It's coming out. Just stop showing us footage.
Yeah. Get it out already. Get on with it. Yeah.
Like, okay. Yeah, that was kind of annoying, but otherwise, yeah, you know, pretty standard.
Yeah.
Nothing to write about.
I agree. That's the best way I can sum it up. I agree.
Yeah.
But I did want to talk a little bit more, not in depth, a little bit more about the halftime show, which was Kendrick Lamar this year. Which, listen, I'm gonna be honest. There were some decent moments, as kind of touch on. overall, it just really wasn't my cup of tea. Like, don't get me wrong. I like Kendrick Lamar as an artist. Like, I listen to some of his stuff. Like, I'm not trying to, to belittle Kendrick Lamar at all.
Robbie's a Drake fan. That's why. No, it's okay.
I mean, I like Drake too. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna be the Switzerland in this Kendrick Lamar Drake beef.
Yeah.
But I just didn't care for it. Like I said, it's hard. It was kind of hard to understand like what he was saying at times. I just didn't. It didn't have that Super Bowl sort of halftime show vibe to me. Like I don't know. It didn't have the vibe that I like as a fan feel like the Super Bowl halftime show should have. Is the sort of the most succinct way I can put it. But I mean, listen. Everybody can have their own opinion. I respect everybody's opinion on the show, but it just didn't do it for me. To put it bluntly.
That's okay.
I did enjoy though, as I know Kyle, because we were talking about off air. I did enjoy Samuel L. Jackson as Captain America, not Captain America, as Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
I thought that was.
He would also be a good Captain America too, but anyways.
Yeah, but no, I did enjoy Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam. I thought that was a good touch to it.
That was great. That was really unexpected. I did not expect that.
I hate to say, I think Samuel L. Jackson kind of stole the show. To be completely honest with you. But anyway, let me turn over to Kyle, because you are the entertainment sort of expert reviewer of the show, and so I want to kind of give you more of the floor here for the for the commercials definitely, but for this as well. Just give us sort of your review, take, whatever you want to call it, of the Kendrick Lamar show and just the halftime show in general.
All right. Well, I actually really liked it.
That's fine.
And I feel like it was like Robbie said. I think he made a lot of good points. It was definitely one of those shows that it might not be for everyone, and I totally get that. Like, and maybe it helps more if you know more of the Kendrick Lamar songs or not. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not a diehard Kendrick fan myself, but I do love the songs that I've heard so far, and I loved all the songs that he put out on the show tonight. I actually feel like I discovered like at least like 3 or 4 from his new album. I think he put a lot of them actually from his new album that he just released last year. I really liked it. I thought it was really cool. I as a video game fan, I also loved the PlayStation. I don't know if you guys noticed. He set up the 4 stages using the PlayStation button symbols. They had circle, square, X, and triangle. I thought that was hilarious. Like, there was just a lot of like funny touches that he had. And yeah, like you're right. Like visually, it wasn't as like extravagant as like some of the other halftime shows in the past. But I actually really dug like a lot of the kind of more hidden messages that he had, because he had this sort of like America, like this American flag and like the red, white, and blue kind of setup with his dancers, and I thought the choreography was really good. I thought you could tell that they really put a lot of work in kind of on really that side of it. But he definitely had like a lot of like very hidden messages there, and there was even a part where you could see the American flag divided, which I thought was really fascinating. So I was like, ooh, okay. It definitely the show definitely felt like it was a huge dig at Trump and Drake, which I thought was very fascinating. So that I really enjoyed it personally. But so I totally understand though. Like I feel like there's people out there that they really enjoyed it, or maybe they thought that it wasn't as good as, and I totally understand that either way. So yeah. But
no, like I said, everybody's gonna have their own take on it. Like, and listen, I'm not saying it wasn't like the worst one I've ever seen, but it just was not. It was just like I said, just didn't do it for me. That's the best. That's the most succinct way I think to put it. It just didn't. I'm sorry, but
I think Adam Levine deserves the worst award personally. But sorry, not to throw. Oh, that was a really big dig. I'm sorry. Sorry for Adam Levine fans. You can send
Adam Levine fans.
Mail
Send it to Kyle. Oh boy.
The freaking floating like little balls and like him taking his shirt off. It's like, okay, we get it. We get it. Okay, we can see your ego in that one.
Oh, gotta love it.
But anyway, sorry. That's beside the point. Yep, good show.
Well, Yeah, good. But yeah, I mean, just it's another Super Bowl bites the dust, and until next year's Super Bowl, we will see what that brings us.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Yeah.
But speaking of what's coming next, it's time for the last two portions of our episode. And since I'll be completely honest with you guys, I really don't have a Robbie's final thought this week. So I'm just going to turn the floor over to Kyle because I know he's, got something exciting planned for the Sue's Reviews as always. So Kyle, take it away, please.
All right. So kind of continuing on sort of like slightly disappointing like things to talk about, or not disappointing things, what am I saying, sort of things to kind of criticize a little bit. I recently beat this game called Ever Forward. So it's a game that you can actually get on PC. I think you can buy it through Steam. You can play it on Switch and PS4, I believe. So I played the Switch version, and on paper and aesthetically, I think that's where the game really works. I think it has a really great visual sense. So basically you're playing this young girl who's in this very kind of dreamlike world, but every now and then the dreamlike world is kind of interrupted. And you're kind of going through this girl's sort of memory, and you don't really know what's going on initially, but you kind of find out as the story goes, which I thought that was a cool kind of way to present the game. So the game itself is actually a puzzle game. So you don't really like fight or go through dungeons and stuff like that. It's a very much a thinking person's game where you go through these different sort of small like puzzle sections. You have to figure out how to get past these like little sensor ball things that if they see you they zap you the thing is you can't attack them. You have to find ways around them, and the objective of each puzzle is you have to get this box from point A to point B. And some puzzles are very easy, they're very straightforward, but other puzzles are very tricky, and they really, oh my god, to the point where that's kind of where, in my opinion, the game kind of faltered. Like, yeah, like I said, great presentation, the graphics are good, but and some of the, I think the first, there's a good number of the puzzles that are actually really intuitive and they really make you think, and it's a lot of fun when you kind of like, okay, how do I take this box from point A to point B, and by the way, every time you deposit a box to point B, that's kind of, you unlock this character's memory as you go along, so you kind of get more details about the story that's going on. So and basically, yeah, it's like you see this girl and like her interaction with her parents and stuff like that, and you kind of see like the bigger world around them. So that part was cool, but like there's puzzles that I just thought that some of them were just way too hard to figure out. And I'm not saying this as like I like hard puzzles. I like it but a lot of I just didn't think it was very like, I think a good puzzle game is you need to kind of present like, I just didn't think the game did a good job at like presenting what you need to do to get there. Like a lot of stuff was just very abstract, and you really had to, a lot of it was, oh, I can do that. And I don't like when puzzle games do that. It's like you need to present like what your character can do and what kind of space they're in and how they interact in that space. And I think it's a very hard thing for a lot of 3D game developers to do. So that's why I don't hate the game. I really don't. I think it was a good effort. I just think that they were trying to kind of do like what Zelda did in like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I don't know if you guys have ever played that game, where you go to these shrines and they have these like, every time you enter a shrine there's like a puzzle. But those puzzles to me work way more than a game like Ever Forward, because it's very intuitive and it's very like, they don't hold your hand. The puzzles are still challenging, but if you really think and you really look at the whole layout, then eventually you can figure it out. And it's just it might take a little bit at times, but those are the kind of puzzles I really like. And I wish Ever Forward kind of took more of that approach. I think they could have learned a lot from like sort of the Zelda approach, essentially. So that's my biggest complaint. And also, do not play this game handheld, because you know how the Switch works. Like, you can put it on the dock and then you can play it on the TV, or if you take it out of the dock, you can play it handheld. Do not play it handheld. Please don't. Because the game chugs so hard. The frame rate is so bad. Like, your character can... It's like awful. Like, I believe me, I played both versions. If you want to play this on the Switch, please keep that system docked on the TV, or play it on a much higher system. Like, play on like PC or like PlayStation 5 or something, because it will not work if you play it handheld. I'm telling you. So, you know, like, yeah, like, I can't say I fully recommend it. If you guys want to try a crack at it, maybe you just need a better frame rate. Maybe you guys are better at puzzle games than I am. If you think that, then I would say give it a shot. But if you're looking for a game that's a little more kind of like the shrine puzzles in Zelda, then I think you're going to be disappointed a little bit. So I could say, yeah, you know what, just try it, see for yourself. If you guys, you know, let me know what you think. So there you go.
Cool. Well, thank you, Kyle, for that lovely review, as always. Always riveting stuff there. And
Thank you.
As always, you should definitely take heed of what Kyle says, because he knows his stuff. Believe me. So, that is going to wind down this week's episode of On a Couch Talking Sports. Was glad to be back with you guys for another episode. And listen, if you had any thoughts on anything we talked about tonight, because we talked about a lot.
Oh yeah, it was an action-packed episode.
It really was. If you have any thoughts on anything about tonight's episode, definitely feel free to leave us a comment here on YouTube. As always, we're always on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. But please, again, don't follow us in real life. Just don't do it. No, please, don't do it.
I advise against it.
Yeah, really. Agreed. But as always, shout out to our two sponsors, Diamond Organizing and Wes Woodson, as always, for the support. Appreciate you guys. So that's going to do it for this week's edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. It was definitely a super episode. Mm-hmm. Just had to throw that one last pun in. But anyway...
Actually, that's going to be the title. The super episode.
Ooh, okay, I like it. Boom.
That's how we do it.
There you go. Yeah, that's right. That's why he's the editor. But like I said, thanks for tuning in, everybody. And as always, he's Kyle, I'm Robbie, and we will sign off from the couch after having talked some sports. Bye, everybody.